Hello, Dr. Wong. Welcome to CGTN. So let's start with your proposal this year. Can you tell us more about it?
Most of my proposals to the NPC are related to the economy. In particular, how to push the Hong Kong economy forward in the face of the pandemic. And I think that because Hong Kong's economy is so integrated with that of the mainland, it is critical for us to reopen the boundary between Hong Kong and the mainland for the flow of people. I feel that because the pandemic is largely under control on the mainland, Hong Kong really should open up for visitors from the mainland to come to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong's economy contracted by a record 6.1% in 2020 in face of unrest and fallout from the pandemic. Well, compared with the visible impact on the economy, what are the invisible consequences?
We are talking about a pretty long downturn, starting from mid-2019, and we expect that to last, for at least 2 years and maybe a bit longer. So the damage to the economy is really quite severe. But I think that still the recovery could be quite swift as long as we manage to open up the border between the Hong Kong and the mainland, especially with the Greater Bay Area. Having said that, so that's the transitory side of the downturn. There are other structural issues that Hong Kong has to deal with for the longer term. The first and foremost is about our land and housing problem. We have been in the housing shortage for a very long period of time, and that's why the property prices are so high. And that really creates a lot of problems for the society and the economy.
After the turmoil wrought by Hong Kong's economic contraction, might this undermine investors' confidence in the city?
Some international investors might have some doubt in the beginning as to where all this is going. But I really feel that international confidence will come back. Even last year, despite all the very negative news about Hong Kong, we saw that capital markets continue to do very well. The IPOs and all that continue to go on, or some really at record amounts. And also, if you look at the Hong Kong dollar, which has been a concern for some time, the Hong Kong dollar has stayed on the strong side of the range-linked exchange rate system. What is going to boost confidence is the real performance of the financial sector in Hong Kong. And so far, I think that the financial sector has been holding up incredibly well, and we expect that to continue.
So last week, the head of Hong Kong and the Macau Affairs Office said only patriots governing Hong Kong, only they should hold key positions in all three branches of Hong Kong's government. How do you feel about this call?
Actually, the requirement is a very reasonable one. And I think that it's really accepted internationally. If you look at, for example, all the Western countries, the people who hold power in government and also the major official institutions and the political parties that are involved, they all support the sovereignty of their nation. They all pledge to uphold the constitution of their countries and so on. The latest saying from the central government, the patriots, they should be holding the key offices in Hong Kong. It's really in line with this kind of international practice. That is actually a very basic requirement. If you look at the case of Hong Kong in particular, this kind of a requirement is actually long overdue. For a very long period of time after the return to Chinese sovereignty in 1997, we had a lot of politicians, especially in electoral. I don't think that they were interested in helping the government to govern in any positive way. Instead, what they had attempted to do for a long time to frustrate the government's effort to bring about a better Hong Kong. That's one reason why governance in Hong Kong had been a problem for so long.
China is about to solicit Hong Kong residents on how to improve the city's electoral system. What are your expectations?
There could be some changes to the whole electoral system. For example, right now, with the district direct elections, they are basically just based on the 5 very large geographical areas in Hong Kong. We put in this proportional representation system. All that really means that the people who get only very, very little support from the population, for example, less than 10% of the votes, they could be elected. So these people, they are not really representative of the common interest in Hong Kong. So that system may have to be changed, perhaps by breaking down our voting districts into smaller districts so that people who are truly representative of the popular will would gain seats in electoral.